Welcome to the Hero Escape Podcast, your weekly escape from Kevin Feige trying to destroy half of all salaries in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I am one of your three co-hosts, Robert Pay Me Jr., and I am joined by...
That's pretty good. Professor Race Car Palindrome.
Race Car Palindrome?
Vroom, vroom.
I was going to say, Mr. Palindrome, it's nice to meet you.
Oh, you're...
Yeah.
Real eloquent, Mr. Palindrome.
And I am Mr. Hancock, Herbie Hancock. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that.
All right, welcome to our next episode of Hero Escape Podcast. We are happy to be here. We are ready to follow up and congratulate our winners of our Who Would Win bracket tournament. Man, that was a lot of fun. Yes. Congratulations to the one and the only Shazam for being our champion, and for all those of you who have been introduced to him. Now, that is not the same as Kazam, also known as Shaquille O'Neal in Bad Theater.
Not the same.
Not the same.
Very similar, though.
Yes. Shazam is essentially...
No, not similar either.
They can both...
That hurts
Although
my
Chris
heart.
Pratt really wants to remake the movie Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal, but this time he wants to get it right. Just so you know.
Oh, sure.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So also congratulations to Peter. His bracket that he submitted online was the high score.
Woo!
Woo!
Well done.
Congratulations, Peter. Good job. I will say nobody picked our finalists. Surprisingly, nobody picked Godzilla and Shazam to be the champion in the championship round. But
Thinking about it now, how do you not pick Godzilla to be one of the last guys?
because we had to do a whole lot.
Yeah.
We didn't realize how awesome he was.
Yeah, I guess not.
I'm thinking there's going to be a problem with his paperwork next year. But anyways.
Yeah, really.
Okay, so for those of you, our tournament left off, Thanos shows up. We had a near-death experience. Tony Stark had to get us out of there. But for all you preppers out there, how are you going to survive? And are you ready for the apocalypse that is Thanos and all the danger that he brings? So those of you who don't know Thanos, knowledge is power. And what you need to know to survive the Infinity Wars, that's what you're here for. That's what you've tuned in for. That's what we're going to give you. So
Yes.
Thanos, besides being one powerful and ugly-looking dude, is extremely dangerous and extremely demented.
Speak for yourself. I got a weak spot for purple chins.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, I think he's a handsome dude. You know,
All right. Okay, moving along.
Dave has a type.
Dude has a type. All right. So Thanos hails from the planet of Titan and is inherently strong, is inherently smart. He's kind of like, if you know Doctor Doom, he's Doctor Doom, but like smarter and stronger and even more adept at technology and integrating otherworldly technologies. So Doctor Doom, big scary baddie on planet Earth. This is the intergalactic version of Doctor Doom in a nutshell.
Okay.
So very, very strong and bad. So he gets approached by the specter of death in person, appears to him. This is his backstory, and you need to understand. You must know your enemy if you're to defeat him, right? So he gets approached by death, and he, from weird interactions with the specter of death, comes to understand that death is unhappy with the balance of life and death in the universe, and is thereby tasked, whatever the term, commissioned by death to bring a balance. And so death bestows upon additional powers to Thanos to enable him to create this balance. Except for Thanos doesn't use that power to directly then go and just cause more death, like conquer and kill stuff. He uses this power, additional powers, and he already was powerful. He uses these additional powers to start collecting Infinity Stones.
Aha.
All right? So he uses these because he realizes the true power are these Infinity Stones, and the more he collects, the more powerful he becomes, the more he can do, more easily he can accomplish this mission that death has given him, although he becomes power drunk and kind of loses sight of that vision initially. Okay,
It's interesting that there hasn't been any hint of that backstory that I've seen. You know what I mean? In the movie.
Only hint.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, the only hint of it that I saw was that little teaser at the end of one of the I think either First Avenger or the Avengers.
I think it's the First Avengers.
Yeah, Avengers, when that little like servant of his goes
Chitauri
and says, "Hey, we
guy
couldn't." We couldn't.
says something about
the humans weren't the cowering wretches we were promised, and to fight them, They're unruly and therefore cannot be ruled, and to fight them is to court death.
Yes. Although I felt like that's fan service, right? Anybody who's read the comics is immediately going to know what that means.
That's just a neat line in a stinger at the end of a movie. But if you know Thanos, you know that's his life goal, to court death.
Okay, so how messed up of you have to be to actually want to court death personified? Like you're pretty messed up, right? So, but that's who he is. That's what power he aspires to. Okay, and is in the process of accumulating. All right, so he's this powerful, he's this bad, and to accomplish it, he starts collecting the Infinity Stones. And as we have been watching, he's kind of been in the background, right? We see him in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's teasing the Ronin guy, "Hey, get me this orb, and then I'll destroy the people you want destroyed." Well, the orb had an Infinity Stone on it. He's the one who gave Loki that scepter to empower Loki to try and conquer the Earth in Avengers 1. That scepter, turns out, had an Infinity Stone in it, which then Tony Stark used to, and everybody used it. And now we've got Vision with it, right? So he's been pulling strings, and then remember Thor is like, man, all these Infinity Stones showing up. There was first the Tesseract turned up, first Avengers, right? Found that one. Then he has his whole second movie with another one. All these things are turning up. This is bad. I got to go find out where all these Infinity Stones turning up. They've been missing for millennia. Now they're all turning up. What's going on? He disappears. And then we have Ragnarok happening, right? At the end of which, the little teaser scene at the end of Ragnarok, right? Oh, I think everything's going to be fine. All of a sudden, the Thanos ship kind of shows up and, oh, crap, things are not good, right?
And again, that's a moment that is... All of the teasers are really fan service ultimately, but there's no explanation for what that ship is or who's in it or anything. So unless you go online, like I did, and look it up, there was no way for anybody to know. I guess all I'm saying is that's why I felt like we needed to do this episode, why I think we all did, is going into this movie, your average person knows he's the bad guy, but there's like almost no background whatsoever.
Unless you've done a bunch of research about these movies or been reading comics since the 90s, you're not really going to have a good background.
Yeah.
So our narration at the end of our tournament of him just taking Doctor Strange and Shazam and chucking them out of nowhere and causing havoc, were he to have 1 or 2 Infinity Stones, that is completely feasible, right? For him to do something like that. And as you see in the trailers, he kind of shows up. You see him with 1 or 2 stones on Earth. 1 stone in the hands of someone like that, we're all screwed. And he already has 2. Anyway, so let's talk about these stones. Let's figure out, make sure we understand why is there, how many of them are there, and why are they even important, right?
So can I add something real quick to what you said? So the reason that he's after these stones also, just some background on the stones themselves. They are 6 singularities that compress the powers of the universe. We don't know too much about them, and I think it's probably been less purposefully mysterious. But
I feel like you need white hair to have a nice collection. I'm
reading
there's
from
a brief
from some
flashback
tome
in one of the movies, right, where it shows.
Does it show?
I remember the big dude like dropping like the weapon.
That's the collector.
Boom.
That's the collector telling him why.
He tells a brief story, but the stones were previously used to wipe out entire civilizations with a single gesture, so they were scattered throughout the universe. And the old comics even refer to them as Infinity Gems. But so he's after them because they are these 6, like I said, compressed powers of the universe, extremely powerful. So
like on the universal scale. Right?
Yeah, exactly. So, and we're going to lead off giving a little information about each one. Do you want to kick it off?
Yeah. So our stone number 1 that we are trying to track down here made its appearance in the Avengers
and first Avenger,
Captain America.
So both movies that have the word Avenger in it. Yes.
Yeah. Which would be the Tesseract.
Yes.
AKA blue, for those of you who are color oriented, I suppose. The specific power for that one is allowing travel across great distances instantaneously.
So it's a space gem.
Yeah.
Just like how, if you recall from Avengers, when he shoots the beam up, it opens that hole in space and then allows the aliens to come through. You know, they were light years away, but he allowed them to come instantly be at Earth.
Yeah. So at the end of the Avengers, the Tesseract was being kept in Odin's vault on Asgard. But when we saw in the trailer for Infinity War and right at the very end of Thor Ragnarok, there maybe spotted sort of hints of it, Loki swiped it from the vault. before everything was destroyed.
And there's the trailer. There's a trailer where you see Loki like kneeling and handing.
Yeah.
It, yes.
To some unknown person.
Please don't kill me, Thanos, for losing one stone. Here's another. Right?
Yeah. So that is the current known and understood whereabouts of that particular one.
So I'll jump to the next one is the Mind Stone. It is the shiny, glowy thing on Vision's forehead, the yellow stone there. And it is capable, it's called the Mind Stone because it's capable of controlling, or the wielder is capable of controlling minds and enhancing intelligence. So it's pretty powerful. And its whereabouts, I just said, is on Vision's forehead.
And it made a first appearance in Loki's staff, right?
Yeah, first.
Loki didn't know it was the Infinity Stone, but
and then it was removed.
In Avengers 2.
In Avengers 2. And
super embarrassing
Age
for
of
him
Ultron.
on those mornings when he wakes up and he's like, have you seen my Mind Stone anywhere?
Oh,
I
it's on
just
my
put it
forehead."
down. Oh, man.
yeah.
All the time.
I see him rubbing his head in frustration. I mean, oh, there it is, right there.
Okay, so then the next time we see any Infinity Stone is in Thor: Dark World, which any of the Thor movies I liked, I really enjoyed it. But they call it the ether, right? And so the Dark Elves are coming and they find this ether and they want to use it to change reality of the entire universe, rather than it being a luminous universe that we're in with light and life. They want to turn it all dark and death, and like they like it to be. Okay, and they want to use this ether or the reality stone to change it. So at the end of Thor 2 Dark World, the Asgardians, the good guys win. Spoiler alert. And
Wait, what?
They get the stone, and instead of putting it also in Odin's vault, they're like, this is not safe. There's a little extra scene, and you see Volstagg and Sif, two of Thor's friends, bringing the Infinity Stone to the Collector.
Benicio del Toro.
Yep. And saying, look, it's just not safe to keep two of these together, so you keep this one safe. And he's like, oh, yes, I will keep it so safe, and I'm very mysterious.
I remember that line distinctly.
Yes.
I like that he tells you he's mysterious, so I don't have to guess.
Yeah. You know, just come on. Clear
Yeah,
communication.
exactly,
I'm all about
exactly.
clear communication.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. So if you're like me, I am more of a DC guy. So going into Infinity War, I had a hard time remembering. But the easiest one for me to remember was the one that we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Because right at the beginning of the movie, you have Star-Lord basically lifting it, shall we say?
And then dropping it like a,
Yeah.
like a boot.
Yeah. So
In that one, the Infinity Stone is the story. It's not like window dressing to the story. It is
yeah,
the
exactly.
story. So,
that really was the first time that it was sort of front and center, so much that, you know, even people like me who were even just loosely familiar were like, oh, wait, I know what they're leading up to. So is the...
Oh, man. Oh! Yeah.
Yeah,
Like that?
kind of. More subdued, but okay. To each their own. So that's the Power Stone. Purple. So they have all these wonderful adventures, and Ronan, jams it in his hammer and turns his back on Thanos, and then they have this amazing dance off at the end. That's what happens, right?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
the main scene.
It ends with a
the-
dance off
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
roll credits.
You
between Star-Lord and
dance off, bro.
Ronan.
What
Ronan
are
the
you
Cruiser.
doing? Yeah. So, but key point. That whole storyline was Thanos tricking somebody else to bring him an Infinity Stone.
Yes.
So here he is trying to collect these Infinity Stones. Is he using it to snap of his fingers, wipe out half of the universe, like Gamora says in the trailer, which fits exactly in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline?
Yeah.
Because he actually, in the core material, does do it. He literally, in fact, wipes out half of the life in the known universe. Completely indiscriminate. Doesn't care who the half is. He just snaps his fingers. Half are dead. The only person he intentionally made sure was dead was his father, who was a powerful person himself. But
And as we're looking forward to the movie, for those who may not know or may be wondering, that half in the comics included some fairly prominent characters, superheroes.
yes,
So it's not like it was playing light with the whole thing. You know what I mean? So the movie could have some serious ramifications. In
No one
terms
was
of
safe in the comics.
what they choose to do
absolutely.
with that. So
Dude, they killed a lot of sacred cows in this storyline. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
So where is the purple stone now?
So you may or may not recall, but at the end of that,
or the power stone also, as it's known as. Sorry, did you say that already?
Yeah, Power Stone. Yeah, Big Purple, as we call it colloquially.
Yeah,
Corners
those who are in the know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's with the Nova Corps. So that would be John C. Reilly and all his friends.
Yes, exactly.
I'm totally gonna hang on to this stone for you guys.
I don't think anybody's 100%.
Yeah. So that is where that one is residing. Last we knew, leading into Infinity War.
Okay, the Nova Corps is holding on to it.
Yep.
All right. Well, the numero 5 here is the Time Stone, or the green one, and then you saw that one featured again. This is another time it was kind of featured pretty heavily in the movie with Doctor Strange and the Doctor Strange movie.
Such a good movie.
They also referred to it as the Eye of Agamotto, and it, just like the movie demonstrated so much, it alters and manipulates time, and it's currently still with the Masters of the Mystic Arts and Doctor Strange and those guys. That's under their watch.
Yeah, sometimes he wears it and uses it and learns from it. Otherwise, it's in their kind of little magic vault place.
I think the movie ends kind of with him sort of setting it in its setting place again. And
So this is the stone that you really need if you have just finished the most amazing apple you've ever eaten, and you just want to restore it and eat it again,
so good.
over and over again, as we saw in Doctor Strange.
Or you could just fly really fast around the Earth.
you could do that.
Just saying.
Is that what Superman had? He had the time stone the whole time? I had no idea.
Yeah.
Amazing.
He has the stones to do it. Oh, I dropped it first. Okay.
That's where rewind technology comes from, studying that stone.
Oh, rewind.
Scientists learned how to
Oh,
do
goodness.
rewinds, and so they
So, man.
So there's our first 5. Where is number 6?
Okay, so the only stone we haven't mentioned, and there are 6 of them, is the Soul Gem or Soul Stone. It's usually, I think, in our current representation, it's going to be an orange stone. So this one is a little bit more weird, and in the canon, it is normally associated with Adam Warlock. Mm-hmm. Okay, and that is a character that was teased in the bonus film scenes at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Okay. Now, the Soul Gem can steal, control, and alter the souls of the living and the dead, and it might be able to control all life in the universe, if you know how to use it. Like in the comics, something like that. So, this Adam Warlock guy, for a while, he's a very interesting character. If they stick true to the canon material, he's going to be a significant player in this storyline.
If you don't remember those in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2,
go ahead.
The gold skinned race of people that
they're really snotty, and
they're
all
Not
snotty.
Robert Downey Jr., the other gold skin race.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That they sort of screw over several times in that movie. They at the very, I think was it into the movie, or was it like a stinger at the end? But anyways, she has that perfect person, perfect human that she's not human, but.
Yeah, she's gonna. They talk to her like, "Oh, you're so in trouble. The council's gonna punish you. You've wasted our resources." Like, no, they're gonna like my new version of us.
Yeah,
she's
she's
perfect.
Somehow engineered a more perfect
being
beginning of their race like that. And what are you going to call him? Adam, and it's
clearly
Adam Warlock, who has also that gold colored skin.
Yeah,
and,
so
in the old series is very key to.
Yes, he's very, very wise, very smart, very all kind of undefined powers or whatever, but he actually in some of the story arcs of Guardians of the Galaxy, he becomes one of the Guardians of the Galaxy for a while, and he uses the Infinity Gem, the Soul Gem, the Infinity Stone that's called the Soul Gem. When they're fighting someone, he can just boom take them and put them in the Soul Gem, like,
oh wow,
kind of like if you're familiar with the Ant-Man storyline where he makes like a micro jail and he puts bad guys in the micro jail, like he can do the same thing, but with the Soul Gem there's a whole other universe in there that he can, and sometimes Adam will put himself in the Soul Gem and he kind of rules this universe.
So it's not that he's ripping their soul from their physical body and putting their soul in, it's their entire being, including their physical.
Yes.
If you're more of a DC guy, maybe think of like when General Zod and those guys get trapped in the what's that zone called?
Oh, the negative zone, the negative little zone, plate of glass floating through.
Right? Think about things sort of like that when they get trapped there and they can't get out. Sort of, it's almost maybe similar to that.
It's like they're no longer a threat to anyone in our plane of existence, but in this universe, it's a universe inside the soul gem. Like it really is. So he can of course, it can shoot beams and it can be a direct source of releasing power, but that's kind of how he does it. Now, this Adam Warlock character that we've just sort of introduced, he is the one who ultimately, in the canon material, this is not a spoiler because we have no idea the way this movie's going to go, or these two Avengers movies are going to go. But the Adam Warlock character is the one who finally gets all of the super people from the different universes to kind of come together. Here's my plan. This is how we undo Thanos. And as they execute his plan, almost everybody dies. Captain America dies. Thor dies. And a bunch of other people that aren't even going to be in, like Wolverine dies. Spider-Man dies.
Just stop. I can't take it anymore.
So, okay. Those who weren't died. It was Snap of the Fingers dead, which was that's how Black Panther died. He was Snap of the Fingers, I think.
You know who doesn't die? Batman.
Oh my god.
Batman.
Do you know why he doesn't
Never dies.
Because he's Batman.
Because he's Batman.
Because I'm Batman.
Yeah.
And when you say, is this accurate? Again, going off my foggy Marvel knowledge, when you say he went and gathered the super people of the universe, that included some big names that have not.
Oh yeah,
ever been featured.
It's like on
like Galactus.
Yeah, I mean, there's representations of galactic entities that haven't even been in comics.
Eternity, affinity, love and hate.
Yeah.
The person's like these cosmic ideas.
This is all giving you some background. Like we don't know. We're just
this is
the
not
Soul
spoiler.
Stone does need to show up still, and we don't know if Adam Warlock will be in there. And the movies haven't even shown the Soul Stone. We don't know where it is. The speculation is that it might be in Wakanda.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of focus there in the trailer and stuff, just visually from what you see at least. So
doesn't that just make sense that they got soul?
It just all ties together in the
or
end.
is it racist? Pandering? I don't know. What do we call that? Whatever. Yeah. Okay, so Thanos is a baddie. We know he's coming to get the Infinity Stones, and we really don't want him to get it. Right? That's what we know going in. We like for you to obviously listen to what we're saying so you can enjoy the movie as spoiler-free as possible, but also, as you know this stuff, you'll enjoy the Easter eggs that are going to be inevitably throughout the movie. Okay, we got everything covered? I think
we got everything covered. Right? Do you want to toss out some?
Well, yeah, I just wanted to say, okay, now is the time for us to make our bold predictions, sure to be proven wrong. What we think is going to happen so that we can ridicule and harangue each other when we inevitably get proven false. So
that's right. It's a little bit of a tradition here. If you want to go back, like, I think that The Last Jedi is going to be a great movie. Nah, not that way. So,
Hold on, stop the tape.
I go again. I'm verklempt. Okay.
This time around, I got a feeling it's going to be different. Though,
okay, you want to go first, Nathaniel? Give us your bold predictions here.
I don't know how bold it is. I don't think there is any way that they can kill Black Panther. They've just got the engine going on that corner of the franchise, right? So I just don't think there's any way that they cut that off at this point.
But it would be an emotional gravitas moment because we all love him.
Do you think somebody dies in the movie? In this movie, movie?
Yes, absolutely. And that's based on a few things. Okay. One being, now again, I just want to remind everybody, we have not seen the movie. So everything we say is speculation. So it's not like because we read the comics, we have some insider knowledge.
We're trying to live in spoiler-free universes as well.
If we had an opportunity to see it, though, we would have seen it. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So I guess saying that, what I wanted to say is Hawkeye has been noticeably absent from a lot of the posters and stuff. And without going into too much detail, that would somewhat align with the events of the graphic novel. So that might be one gut punch they throw in there. Some other things that make me think that is the extreme secrecy that they've been exercising surrounding the script. You were telling me today that, in an interview they were talking about how there were fake scripts being written and passed around whenever the cast would ask to read the full script so they could understand everything that happens. They would give them a fake one so that they could not then leak some important piece of information. In particular, Spider-Man, Tom Holland.
Yeah, apparently it's kind of a...
it's
and
kind
then sometimes they would say, no, I do want the real one. And they would give them one that looked and dressed up like a real one. Like, oh, this is super secret. Go in that room by yourself. And they would later find out it's still fake.
Yeah. So you don't engage in that kind of secrecy unless there's a major...
I just love that they did that to actors.
Yeah.
I just freaking love it.
Just say your lines and go home.
Yeah,
exactly.
I just freaking love it. Okay.
Yeah.
So you
you
almost
said
made a
bold.
prediction. Yeah, come on.
Bold from me, and this is put myself out there, but bold, I think that Robert Downey's going to eat it.
You think so?
Okay.
Wow. That is bold.
So in the Infinity Gauntlet series, in an effort to make Death jealous, Thanos produces a perfect mate for himself. And in an attempt to kill Thanos, she rises to his defense, and she's seen holding Iron Man's head.
There you go.
He dies in the Infinity Gauntlet, and gruesomely so. So that could be.
Yeah.
That could be.
All right.
All right.
That's where my money is, and that's where Marvel Studios' money savings is going to be. So there you go.
Is it my turn now?
Yeah.
So I have one not so bold, and then I don't know. I'll try another bold one. But there's one that I think, I keep thinking like, how is Captain America going to be awesome without it? I mean, he will be awesome, but I want to see him with a shield so bad.
He's still got those pecs. I mean, he's gonna be awesome.
He does have the sweet beard.
He was
too.
stab a bullet with those.
And now his hair is going to be amazing.
But, so I think that you're going to see a thing where in the comics way back decades ago, he lost his shield, and Tony Stark made him like a thing that he would wear on his arm. It didn't look too dissimilar from the Wakanda shield he gets in the trailers you've seen. But it would generate like an energy shield, and he could throw that and catch it just like his real shield. But it was just energy, which is sort of reminiscent of some of the weapons that they used in Black Panther. So I think that there's more to that shield he holds than you. I think it might pop up an energy
and
shield.
just to clarify, because when we talked about this earlier, I had the wrong thing in my head. You're talking about that physical object on his arm generates an energy disc. The energy disc is what gets thrown.
Yes.
So like it just flies around, boom, 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 and then goes back to that physical thing.
Exactly.
That is dope.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah. I think
nice use of the word
if
dope.
if they're going to be
dope.
old school comic accurate, which they've done a great job at doing stuff like that, I think you'll see that pop up like its own sort of energy Captain America shield.
Don't you think when they all join forces at the end, that Tony Stark won't be like, yeah, sorry, I was a total D-bag, take that back from you. You can have it.
He might do that still. He might do that still because he eventually gets in the comics. He eventually gets his shield back, anyways. He's like, well, this is
if
great.
he dies with his real shield.
Yeah, I think if he dies with the real shield.
New other bold prediction to be politically relevant: when the shield appears, it's going to say MAGA on it. Make America Great Again. Bam.
I am really sure it's not going to say that.
I have a feeling.
You never know.
I'm really sure. Okay.
He's from in the past. He could be a conservative Trump supporter. Who knows?
Okay. So that was, you said, sort of, did you had another prediction?
It's not bold. I don't know if I have any crazy
it's cool.
bold ones.
It's something to look forward.
I do think they're, I don't think this is bold. I feel like there might be, I don't know if Adam Warlock's going to show up, but I think that you're going to have some new people pop up you haven't seen yet.
They wouldn't be able to bring Adam Warlock without fleshing out explanation, though, right? I mean,
well, how
it'd be difficult to do.
They introduced him, right? Like the concept
Sort
of him.
of.
So there's
It
no
was, like, quick.
unless you're going to involve him in this story. I don't understand the point of introducing.
It's a long movie. Yeah, I would say what's the point of that thing? So he must show up at some point. It's a long movie. I think I heard it's like 2.5 hours long. So it's going to be a good long movie, and this is only half the story. So.
It may be they're introducing him
might
solely for the sequel, the part 2.
Yeah.
Which, if you once you get done reading or summarizing Infinity Gauntlet, if you read the Infinity War, that is a Adam Warlock heavy and Thanos minor based story. Like the main character is Adam Warlock, and maybe that's what they're introducing him for.
Maybe so.
I'm still throwing you off from whatever it is you're.
It's fine. No,
to predict.
I don't have anything crazy bold. I feel like I do think you're gonna. I don't think the current roster of superheroes you see is the end. I think they're still going to introduce some new ones. Maybe Adam Warlock, maybe just some other ones.
Come on. Who's on your death list?
Who's on my death list?
Yeah.
I guess that would be the boldest I can be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like saying Hawkeye is kind of low hanging fruit. I'm going down the list of Avengers. I think Vision dies.
They do show him pulling that stone off his head. What does that do to him?
I think Vision dies.
Very nice.
I think that helps storytelling because his powers are so, like, what are they? Kind of a thing. A little bit hard to wrap your head around with that stone. That might be, I could see that definitely.
That's a super bummer.
That's my bold prediction.
The definite end of Paul Bettany's career. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
It's not like he has talent or anything. Yeah, that costume get-up just really made his career, I'm sure. Vision. Okay, so my turn for bold predictions. I think this movie should redefine, cataclysmic destruction for the viewers. At least I hope it does. Independence Day blowing up the White House. Yeah, that's going to be dwarfed by what we see here. With this, as far as like mind blowing destruction, I think we're going to see, some serious destruction. That's just me talking the storyline now. As far as bold predictions, this movie will exceed box office take the record, beating out Force Awakens.
I think
is Force Awakens at number one?
Force Awakens isn't the number one grossing movie of all time.
Isn't it? Or whatever's number one, this one's now going to be number one.
Yeah.
So that's my bold prediction. This is going to be number one.
I think it will.
And this might take. I think it might even do better than the follow-up one. I think this will be the number one all time.
Oh, really? Part two, you're saying will have a little dip?
How they end part one will decide if part two can beat it, but I think part one will probably be the number one grossing movie for a very, very long time. Now, do you want me to make a death prediction too?
Absolutely.
Okay, so who gonna die? Who gonna die? There's gonna be a whole lot of dead. There's gonna be lots of dead. Okay. He did. He got all ate up.
You can't say Thanos. That doesn't count.
Oh, dang it. Okay. I predict Thanos does not die, and even if he does, he won't be dead for long. I'll say that. But, okay, I think... I said a couple episodes ago I thought they were going to kill Captain America. I almost want to take that back.
Huh.
I won't be surprised if he dies, but... I agree with you. I think Tony Stark dying because we love... There's got to be that person that dies that you're like, oh...
It's crushing. Yeah.
But there's also going to have to be other people dying. And I will say this, Dave Saxon, if Vision doesn't die, the Scarlet Witch will.
Okay, I can agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been pushing their relationship, right? So it's...
Mm-hmm. Can I interject? Avatar and Titanic, the number 1 and 2 highest grossing still. Force Awakens number 3. $2.8 billion. So...
Okay, well, I still predict it will at least get higher than Force Awakens, but...
Yeah. Oh, I still think it'll do number 1.
Yeah.
I mean...
at the very least, whatever it was.
Yeah. Yeah,
is that with but that's like with it? They always track that differently. Is it with adjusted?
No, this is not
inflation.
Adjusted. This is not adjusted. This is
okay.
So what was that number? The number to beat?
$2.787 billion.
That's
$2.78.
Well, Force Awakens is over $2 billion also, and that's only when did that come out? 3 years ago.
Yeah, so I think it'll at least beat Force Awakens. That's my okay.
Let's say this. Here, I should do that. Find that math again. Black Panther is at $1.3 billion. The pre-ticket sales.
For Infinity War
was like 25 times or something like that of Black Panther, something ridiculous.
Which was the previous record setter for
Black Panther, in the few months it's been out is already number 10 on the list.
Yeah, anyways, this is going to be truly, truly epic. So that's my bold prediction. I think Scarlet Witch will either Vision or Scarlet Witch will die, and I think a lot of. I think they're gonna do. I also would like to predict like a lot of those minor characters, like John C. Reilly. You know what I'm saying? All the the minor characters that were awesome in all these different movies. I think we're gonna see a lot of them die in like cataclysm events, like you know what I'm saying? Either the finger snapping or an exertion of power from the baddie. Okay, like we're gonna see a lot of the people that we know from the other movies, little Easter egg individuals dying. Maybe Star-Lord's adopted, or uncle or grandpa or whatever finally dying, or whatever. It's all these people, minor characters. I think we're going to see a lot of them die too.
They have a lot of stuff to cram into 2 movies because Kevin Feige, however you say his name, he has said every storyline from all the Avengers movies is going to be wrapped up by the end of this. He's like, they're going to pull every
by
thread.
the end of the second one, though.
By the end of by the end of this round of, they're going to wrap up every single thread.
So in terms of both of them,
impressive.
They're probably not going to have all the cosmic characters show up to help to defeat Thanos. So how do you think, what do you think the way they bring him down is without that kind of level of power?
Okay, so the way they do it, so once he becomes has all this power and essentially becomes omnipotent, omniscient, and he starts to exert and get a handle of the power, okay? Not just having it, but really possessing it and understanding how to wield it. He essentially becomes a deity, like God, like that powerful, okay? And Mephisto, the little Satan guy, kind of gets on him. He starts trying to charm death. And Mephisto kind of you should, to court her, you got to do the snap thing. So he does that. He still courts. And he kind of tricked, for her to be, to impress her. Try to impress her. So he does all these different things to try and impress her. One of the things he tries to do to impress her is to allow a battle to occur between him and his enemies, the Avengers and everybody who's trying to fight. But to make it a contest, he withholds a small percentage, less than 1% of his power, so he's not truly God, okay, God powerful. I'm not committing blasphemy. That's not what I meant. And so he does battle with them, and this Adam Warlock character is there. He's holding Doctor Strange and the Silver Surfer in reserve as part of his plan. Silver Surfer has not been introduced in our world, so that's not going to happen. Then everybody else does an attack, and it's all a diversion. They all get totally killed for Silver Surfer to come flying in at the last minute when they know Thanos' hand will be raised up to hit somebody, to try and swoop and pull the glove off his hand while he's not paying attention. This does not work.
Can I say this real quick?
Yes.
Interject. So I think there is supposed to be a Silver Surfer movie in the works.
Oh, really?
I hate to say this too much without... I'm going off memory from a few weeks ago, and the actor that's supposed to play Silver Surfer's name is credited in this movie.
Oh,
I don't know if that means anything, because I've heard there's is Silver Surfer going to be in the movie? And
maybe that'll be a tease, a bonus scene,
yeah,
right?
I don't know, but
Silver Surfer, I think, is owned by the same people who owned the Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how it works, and I've heard said, well, Silver Surfer, no one's admitted that Silver Surfer will be in the movie, kind of thing, but that actor's name is in the list. But so I don't know what that means. I'm not saying Silver Surfer will be in the movie, but that's just an interesting side.
But that is what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. So the other, so then he's unchallenged now. The entities of the universe challenge him, like infinity itself, time itself. It's like, hey, you are trying to unseat my natural place of the universe,
right?
And they challenge him, and he starts to. So he's sitting on this throne and kind of allowing his power and consciousness to expand into the universe and really fill. And while he's in this state, kind of being confronted by these, he defeats the entities of the universe, and he's in there just kind of expanding himself to really suck in all of the universe that he now controls. And he's kind of just, and one of his artistic creations of living death that he's trying to impress the angel of death with, or whatever that he's trying, just swoops along in his inert form sitting on the thing and just pulls the glove off and puts it on and restores her to her not half dead and fully alive. And that character is Nebula.
Oh, bum.
Okay, so the only person called Nebula in our current universe is that blue and purple girl that hates Gamora, has a rivalry sister love with Gamora. And she instantly, to revert herself back to health, she just put everything back the way it was before, and everything gets reset.
Okay. Well, hopefully they don't do some sort of get out of jail free like that. People coming back alive and all that, and phew,
Yeah, well, that
Well,
was
I
trust me, that was the
honestly
cliff.
wouldn't be
There's
surprised
more
if
than
that
one
happens.
battle. People died. This is like the last, and then they try again because remember Adam Warlock. They try again. They reserve some of these souls before they're completely dead, like the Hulk, Thor, just some of the heaviest hitters to try for like a second attack. But anyways.
You know what would be more dramatic is if he leans forward on his throne and he's about to tell his backstory to the audience in the Avengers, and then all of a sudden, a lightsaber that was on his throne abruptly turns and cuts him in half before we find out who he was or what he wanted.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be awesome storytelling?
So amazing.
Plot twist.
Subverting my expectations.
I feel like that's been done, but here's what I think is going to happen. Here's what I think is going to happen.
Yes, Sir Palindrome.
As he's got the stones and he's about to put them in the gauntlet, he steps on like a storm drain, drops them all down the storm drain. And he's like, "Dang it!" And he's trying to fish.
Clink,
he's trying
clink,
to fish it out like with his fingers, hoping he can reach down there. And then like Thor hits him in the head with a hammer. He's like, "Well, this is easy."
I don't know why they don't let us write these movies.
I don't know.
Brilliant.
Yeah. I so bad want to see the image of like Thanos bending down, trying to reach down between a grating. Like,
My fingers are too big.
Dang it! Yeah.
When are they going to realize that all of your ideas are brilliant, Dave?
When are they going to realize it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we have fully prepared you, I hope, for the upcoming film, Avengers Infinity War.
Man, I'm so freaking excited. I hope you guys all enjoy it.
Oh, man.
Can't wait to talk with you about geeking out about how awesome it was and is.
So thanks for joining us, and do please join us next week after we've all seen it so we can review the movie and give one another a hard time for our bold predictions not coming true. Except for that lightsaber thing. It's totally going to happen.
Oh,
Thanks a lot.
It's not even a prediction.
See you next week, everybody.
Bye.
Next time I fall
Peter Cetera.
in love, the next time I wish everybody could see the face I'm doing. The next time I fall in love, it will be with you. Okay, here comes my partner.